What do you expect how each team will ride that wave of emotion today?
You know, Jay, they're out for redemption. They have a chip on their shoulder from last year, where Chiefland, they're a very even-keeled team, and they have a lot of confidence, which could be the difference maker.
What can we expect from today's game?
Both these teams bring a lot of energy to the field. You're not going to see a down moment, but a lot of emotions from each dugout.
They have seen sophomore shortstop Takia London really be the driving force for them all season long.
Her team looks to Takia for leadership and for production, and she delivers every time. She is a stud out at shortstop, and we could see some SportsCenter top 10 plays today.
How will the freshman pitcher for the Chiefs, Shannon Maloney, hold up against the power for Ocala?
She's going to be challenged, but she has the confidence in the swag to go head-to-head with Morgan White.
What can we expect from these two?
Mazurko, all I want to say about her is, wow. She is batting .426. We talked about her huge home run yesterday, and that's what she does. She steps up big for her team when needed.
And Brownwell as well signed with the University of North Florida.
Brownwell is the leader on this team and the heart in the lineup. She focuses on hitting everything up the middle, and she can because of her quick hands.
We should expect to see a terrific game in this 6A state championship. You won't want to miss it right here on Bright House Sports Network.
The freshman, Shannon Maloney, a 1.47 ERA, and she had to step in midway through the season to take on that starting role, and she's continued to grow each game.
Maloney's going to go with her rise and her drop, working up and down in the zone. When she needs a strike, she's going to, again, rely on that rise ball, and then she also can utilize her curve ball to try to get hitters surprised by working the outside pitch.
And in the outfield for the Chiefs, first-year starter, Reagan McCarl at first base, Kelly Mays, and then Hope Hernandez, who had to do some catching this season because of the lineup changes over at short. Brownell at third, an outstanding fielding third baseman. In the outfield, Lewis, Suarez, and Maloney. Andy Kwilinski behind the plate, and she was a part of that senior group that's really helped to provide stability for this Chamberlain team all season long. When you look at Kwilinski, she's been clutch. She suffered a knee injury last year, able to get back into the lineup, found herself injured once more, but when she comes back in, the Chamberlain Chiefs feel it and know it.
And she's going to be important for this game today, catching the pitcher freshman Shannon Maloney. This is probably the biggest stage she's ever pitched at, and she's going to need Kwilinski big time.
Chamberlain won their first state title back in 2003, followed that up with a 2012 championship led by Bianca Bell. This is their fourth title game. Aboard safely. 53 hits this season for the sophomore, all coming by way of singles.
Haynes sees the defense and just drops a bunt down. It's in the air. Someone could have possibly catch it, but being it's the first pitch of the game, the first time that this team's come out for this championship series, caught everyone off guard and no one made an aggressive out.
Well, a good lead there by Haynes, as we can expect to see her maybe take off. She has 31 stolen bases. Molly Shutters, the DP, just a freshman, boasting a .358 batting average. And Haynes has the trot back to first base as Lewis is under it for out one. So Rachel Mazurko stepping in, and boy, she is still riding high off of the emotion of last night's walk-off home run in the 8th inning. You see Haynes in there easily at second.
And if you notice what Mazurko did prior to Haynes taking off to go for the steal, is that she showed her barrel like she was going to bunt and then slowly pulls back to try to keep the barrel in the way of the catcher Kwilinski's eyes. The speed that Haynes has, it's going to be very difficult to try to throw her out, and she even had a good pitch up in the zone to try to do so.
She fouls that one back. Zerko with a .426 average, has 6 home runs on the season now. We've seen the flash of both speed and power in this tournament from Forest, and we had the opportunity to see them earlier in the year when they played in the Kissimmee Classic. How impressed were you with this team?
Initially, I was extremely impressed because they're very athletic. And at the time at the Kissimmee Classic, they were trying to figure out what their identity was going to be. And then seeing them play yesterday, they definitely came into it, and they're peaking at the right time.
The wild pitch from Maloney. Kolinsky unable to stop it, and Haynes advances to third. It's going to be very important for the defense to back up the ninth grader in the circle in a big championship game like this.
Especially right now with it's moving pretty quickly for the freshmen.
Once more it gets past, and Jasmine Haynes, you're not going to catch her. Forest on the board.
With the speed that Haynes possesses, all she needs to do is see ball in the dirt and she can take off, and she did so twice so far.
The Chamberlain Chiefs made it to the state semifinals last year before dropping a 3-1 decision to Lake Region, the same Lake Region team that beat Forest in the region finals. Zerko aboard with a one-out walk in. Francesca, what are going to be the keys for each of these teams to victory?
You know, for Forest, they need to try to ride the momentum that they had last night. You know, they always said that they need to get they need trigger to start scoring runs, and last night needs to be their trigger. And for Chamberlain, they need to attack the first strike from Morgan White. She likes to go with that first strike, and being that they're kind of the underdog, they need to try to get her off balance quickly. Those
keys to the game driven by your Central Florida and Gulf Coast Honda dealers and the 2015 Honda Fit. And speaking of Morgan White, we'll see the flashes of greatness in the circle in the bottom half of this inning, but right now she's up to bat.
And you look at her pitching numbers, and they're very impressive. And then you look at her hitting statistics, and you're thinking, is this the same person? Could she really be that good? And she is.
Unbelievable. 854 slugging percentage, 11 bombs this season, matching the number on her jersey. And she takes a look at a strike from Maloney. And she typically thrives in situations where there are runners aboard no matter where they are. Her batting and on-base percentage rise because she likes to thrive in that scenario. But Maloney ahead in the count, 1-2.
You see the adjustment that White made instantly was to scoot up into the in the box and up on the white of the line, knowing that Maloney's going to go all outside on her.
And how about Maloney recording the strikeout on White, one of the biggest bats in this lineup for the Wildcats. A huge confidence booster for the freshman.
You know, certainly Maloney doesn't want to mess with White, and she just worked the corner and tried to get her to chase, and she did.
It's one of the things that's worked well for Maloney, learning the hitter spots. She also said she had to prove to herself and tell herself that she could do it. So Olivia Dwyer was the pitcher coming into the season. She started, then decided to quit halfway through. And Maloney had to step up.
We asked her, I said, you know, what's your mentality before you go into any game? And she says, I got this. You know, nothing too crazy, just I have to have confidence in myself, and I have confidence in my team, and I want to do this for my team.
Junior third baseman, Kate Peters, foul tipping that one away. Peters has had a hit in 12 of her last 14 games, including yesterday. Half of them are multi-hit games. And a solid shot over to Brownell.
But how about Jasmine Haynes getting on to start off the inning, and she was able to come on around the home for the first run for the Wildcats.
Coach Wayne Weatherford talks just about the effort that she's put in to be the very best pitcher that she can be, improving every game. And he says he uses her as the example for the team to how to get better and showing work ethic.
Because she doesn't just practice during practice. She gets there early to put some work in. And then she's putting hard work in during those practice times. And then she even stays after and works. She sees a pitching coach. She's determined to be the best pitcher in that circle.
Michaela Stewart, the junior shortstop for the Jay Royals, takes a look at ball one. Hitting .422 on the season. Has the power to knock it out the plate, and already we're seeing some conversation from the umpires after the first pitch. So a quick conversation, and we're back at it. The 1-0 count. Stewart leads things off for the Royals at .613 on base percentage. Really knows how to work the count and making pitchers work, and that's something that you want out of your leadoff hitter.
You know, you see her batting average .422, and she's at the top of the lineup, so you would assume that she's a lefty slapper. But no, she stands in from the right side and has power. You know, she has 1 home run on the season with 9 doubles to follow that up. So she's definitely that spark plug what the team needs.
She leads the team rather in hits. Heading the count 3-1. Smacks that over to third base. Takenisha Barnes records the first out. And Barnes really solid from that position for the Indians. Brian Watson's team will have their work cut out for them in his 11th season with the Jay Royals as Barnes anchors that corner. Watson, a Jay graduate, played JUCO baseball, then finished up his degree at FSU, was really kind of appointed as the softball coach. Also came back to the school because he wanted to coach with his old high school coach for football, and served as the offensive coordinator for some time. But now he just decided to focus on softball and is also a PE teacher at Jay.
I mean, I get it. Softball's probably the best sport out there.
Spoken like a professional softball player. You've spent most of your life playing softball, and that one's drilled in the left field for a base hit from Harley Taggart.
Right now, Lauren Salvi's just working the inside corner. You see Stewart pulled a hard ball foul, or put a hard ball to third base, and now you see Target takes this pitch that's a little bit up in the zone and able to get her barrel to it and just finds a gap.
Taggart happy to have her back into the lineup. Broke her hand, really her pinky, during the district championship game versus Chipley. And she was able to break that cast off 2 weeks later. And came up big in the regional final. Samantha Stedham, junior catcher, pops this one into left center, and right there to collect it is Samantha Rolfe. So Taggart goes back to first now, 2 out for the Royals.
Yeah, we have not seen Stalvey throw a pitch that has not been on the inside corner. Everything's going in, working with the screw and the rise. They must have done some scouting before, knowing what their game plan was going to be.
And Stalvey delivers strike 1.
You know, and that surprises me because she has so many pitches. You know, they say that it's only 5, but still can mix in that change for 6. So just to see them utilizing and focusing on one side of the plate is an interesting approach for this first inning.
And Stalvey has really developed herself as a pitcher, working with her dad, Harlan, who is the pitching coach for this team and has certainly helped out Coach Wayne Weatherford. Said it's the first time in 21 years he hasn't had to call the pitches, and that's thanks to Lauren's dad. gets on top of that one. So Stedman down the count, set him down the count. 1-2.
Yeah, I'm going to be excited when girls start calling their own games and not just relying on the coaches from the dugout. You know, train them up, look over scouting reports, look over pitch sequences. So then the younger you start them, as they get older, they'll get better and they'll learn more. And then, you know, if they decide to go play college softball, that's, you know, a trick that they have in their back pocket, and that's one of their strengths.
This one lifted high and fair ball. It drops right in front of the left fielder. So a 2-out single from Samantha Stedham, her 29th hit of the season.
You know, both the hits that they've gotten this inning have kind of just been jam jobs, but able to find a hole in the outfield. I would say with the way that Stalvy's pitching, maybe Samantha Rolfe, the left fielder, is playing a little bit too deep.
So Miranda Roberts in for Stedham as the courtesy runner. And Emily Dobson, one of 2 seniors on this team. Both she and Dana Blackman have started to carry the torch for the team this year after losing 5 seniors from a year ago. And it's interesting to look at the progression of Dobson, because last year she was one of the most inexperienced players on the team. This year she's batting nearly 400 and is second on the team in home runs.
You know, it speaks a lot to her work ethic. We know where she wanted to be when she finished up that season. And, you know, softball is pretty much a year-round sport. So she finished high school and then decided to continue to play and put more effort into mastering the fundamentals.
So a base on ball delivered by Stalvey. And now bases loaded for Colby Bray. Just a 9th grader, first year with the team. Not a lot of power, but she does make contact.
And that's all you can ask for in a situation like this, is put the ball in play, put pressure on the defense. You know, sometimes make them make a mistake.
So 2 straight strikes from Stalvey with bases loaded. Early jam here for the junior. And the Indians pitcher has a lot to go to. That one's some high heat. This J team started off the season 0-2, rattled off a 23-1 record since then. Number 5 in Class 1A. And the chopper over to third, and top Barnes so solid from that third base position. Gets the force out.